data, how are we transferring that, what are the process of syncing, what actually BigQuery is, and how we're creating dashboards out of it. Before starting, I want to know certain things about my audience. Do all of you know what a database is or have a general idea of what a database is? You can just do a thumbs up. Okay. Good. This. Okay, 3 people. Have everyone has seen the BigQuery interface? How many people have seen the BigQuery interface? Yeah? Just Sarupa, Athira, Amit, Avipur is aware. Oh, Shaida. Great. How many can write a simple query in BigQuery? Like, have you ever tried selecting statements or getting some data from BigQuery? Okay. Some of us, okay. 5 of us are okay. That is good, I think. We have some people who are kind of aware of the things. Well,
Samod, can we pause for a minute? Also,
yeah.
if any of these questions are no for you, like Snehal, just for 1 minute, we can give time for someone for any of these. If there's 1, 2, 3 no, or 1 no, 2 no. So if there's anyone like that, who maybe for 3 their answer is no, you can also just maybe quickly put in the chat box. We can give 1 minute or 30 seconds. Ritu, is your answer no for all the 3 questions?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay, thank you, everyone. Yeah.
Well, so without adding, so I'll just quickly explain the high-level architecture that we have in Glific of how we are saving your data, how we are syncing that to the various BigQuery, Google Cloud, and Looker Studio. Just to give context, so starting from a beneficiary's end, and you have contacts, you have flows, you have messages that are being passed on to your beneficiaries, and that we are getting into Glific server. All of the NGOs data is their common Postgres database. So we have a single database, and all the NGOs data is stored in that particular database. And we don't give access to anyone of this particular database. So what we do is we try to say you can create your own BigQuery instance that is a Google service, and you add credentials in Glyphic, and we'll sync your data per minute or some duration per day, like whatever messages you are getting from beneficiaries, you'll get to sync that data in your BigQuery instance. I'll later on talk about what BigQuery is, how we are storing the data, and what Google Cloud Storage is. But just to give a high-level context, this is the overall architecture that we have in Glyphic. From beneficiaries end, we are getting the contact data, messages, flows are running in the Glific server. We are saving in this Postgres database, and that is kind of synced to BigQuery. All the media files, that the audio files, the video files, and the documents that are saved into something called as Google Cloud Storage. So these are 2 separate platforms that Google functionalities that Google platform have. One is BigQuery, Google Cloud Storage, and there's another thing called Looker Studio that is used to create dashboards. So overall, these 3 things we use particularly from the Google platforms to help NGOs to create show visualizations, get better query of their data, and get better business intelligence. Yeah, overall, this is the whole ecosystem. I'll pause for some time to if you have any questions in the high level architecture. If not, we can move forward. So before starting what BigQuery is, I would like to share what a data warehouse is. And so just to give context, a data warehouse is an enterprise system which is used for storing large amounts of data. With that, you can query that data in a relatively easier manner, and it will have fast access to your data. So if you even have large amounts of data coming in from different data sources, a data warehouse is used in that case. And out of that, you can create get business intelligence, what data is used, how it's used, to create dashboards and other insights. Once we get to the data warehouse, we need to choose which data warehouse to use. In Glyphic, we particularly chose BigQuery because of these reasons. First, organizations should have control their own data and use as they see fit. It's fast and easy to query large amounts of data in BigQuery, and at that particular time, it was lower in cost comparison apart from other providers. Like we tested AWS and other areas, but BigQuery was the lowest at that time. So we chose to move to BigQuery. One question that particularly comes up: can I get my data in a separate cloud platform like AWS? We don't support it yet, but if needed, it can be done on a consulting basis at a later time. But yeah, right now we only support BigQuery to sync your particular data. Next, we'll come to the policy that we have in Glific for storing particular organization data. Right now, data is deleted after every 90 days. I'll come to what data gets deleted and what is kept forever or until the NGO stop using the platform. So messages data get deleted after 30 days, so 90 days. Flow and flow related data and the contact history that is getting deleted after every 90 days. So we'll not keep that data with us. It will be synced to the Google BigQuery, and then you will have access to that data. We won't have access to that data after 90 days. What is kept with us until you stop using the platform is the contact data, the phone numbers, with contact profiles, or the variables that we created, the interactive messages, the flows, the templates. So these will be remain forever until you close the platform, or yeah. So what are the skill sets required for using BigQuery? You need to have a basic understanding of what a database is, where the data is stored, and SQL, like it's a syntax query language that you have to, like it's basic like English statements where you can use to query data. And the documentation of BigQuery is really good, so you can use it as a starting point. I'll share the link also for BigQuery documentation. If you just want to read like how to query my data, get better insights, or export my data, so that is a good starting point. With that, I think I'll show a quick BigQuery platform demo of how the where the data is synced, how to use that data, how to export the data, what are the main tables that you can use. Yeah. Before the demo, do you have any questions? I'll pause for just 20 seconds for this. Ishaida.
Hi, Shamun. This is Sharda from Antara Foundation. I wanted to ask when you say on the deleted slide, when you said that the data get deleted on the on the Glyphic platform, does that mean are you saying that it is get deleted for you as a owner of Glyphic, or is it get deleted for the NGO as well? I'm a little confused over there.
For NGO as well, they won't be
Yes.
able to see messages past 90 days. They can
And
only then you can query only in BigQuery instance, like from your warehouse.
okay, so it means that the data gets stored at the cloud server, but it will not be featured on your Glyphic platform.
It will be deleted in the high level architecture, as you're able to see. It will be deleted from this Postgres instance that we use in Glyphic, but it will still be remain in the BigQuery instance that gets synced.
Makes sense. Thank you so much.
All right, I'll show a quick demo of how the BigQuery platform looks, what are the main tables that are synced, and how you can just easily query and export data. So this is the Google platform interface. And here I'll just select BigQuery. There's a project that's already selected that is used for Glyphic. And this is the project that we are selecting. Right now, on your instance, you will see a phone number that will actually be the bot number of that you're using in Glyphic. And under that, you will be able to see certain tables here. So these are all the main tables that we're syncing in BigQuery. And out of those, some of them are quite important. Those are messages table. It stores all the messages that have been sent by the beneficiary to you, or you have sent to the beneficiary. So it stores all the things like what is the text, what is the type of the message, the sender phone, the receiver phone. If it's a location message, what is the longitude and latitude of the message, which flow ID triggered that message. So some of the basic elements, like what are the messages made of, all this data is in the messages table. The other important table is the contact table, where it shows the contact details of a its phone number, what is the status, is what's the language of the contact, when did it opted in, when did he last message or she last message. So there's a preview option here where you can see the exact details of the data stored in BigQuery. So these are all the details. And yeah, another important table is the flow context table. So if you're aware of flows, when you run a flow for a particular contact, you can see at which particular node the user is at a particular time. So this helps in that insight, like this user, this contact ID is at this particular node right now. And that helps you to see where the people are stuck, in which flow people are using most, just to get that insights. This is quite important table related to your flow data, and that we also use in our dashboards. So these are three main important tables. Apart from that, there are certain tables that are relevant to specific context. Like if you create tickets, so this is a ticket table where it will show all the tickets related in your platform, and you can like export and visualize. So this is the main tables. Next, what I'm going to show is how you can simply like write your SQL statements. Here, there's a query tab. When you go to a new tab, there's an already written statement, and you can like modify it. These are simple English statements that you can use. So it will run the query for you, and it will show like this is the data that you need. So if I say I just want the body of all the messages, I'll just select the body of all the messages, and it will just give me the results. Another good thing is you can save the results as a CSV file or a Google Sheet, so you can just easily like give it to your team or verify if it's fine or get any business intelligence that you want out of it. So there's an easy export option to Sheets, and that you can easily share. You're pausing here for any questions. Something. Okay, sure. I'll just give this overview of the schema that we have in Flow Context. So if you run a flow for a particular contact, it stores the flow ID of the contact. It stores at which particular node right now the user is. It stores all the results that the user has sent, like a particular user has sent some messages. It stores all the results in the results column. It stores what is the parent flow of the so if you run a subflow from a flow, it stores the parent ID key. It has been called from a different flow. And these are all like joining table IDs that you can use. If you kill a flow, it shows the flow is killed. If it's completed, it shows at which time the flow is completed. It tells you the reason, like at which point the flow is killed.
I have a question. Sorry.
So yeah, good.
Yeah. So you told so through the node ID, can I get to know, like if I know my node ID, can I search how many users in that particular node ID it has got killed, the flow has got killed?
Yes, that is also available in the V5 dashboard. But yeah, you can just query from here. Like if you know a bit of syntax, select all the
Okay.
node IDs where the reason is killed or is killed is true.
Okay. Okay.
So that you can do from here.
Got it.
When is the row inserted in this table? When you start a flow for a particular contact, a row is inserted at that point in CM.
And would a new row be inserted each time the contact moves to another node? Is it like every node
No,
or
it's for every flow.
for every
This node, this node ID changes for every, like if you move forward, it gets updated.
Okay, got it.
So if you start a new flow, then it will create a new entry.
Maybe you can just show Shaman, maybe you can just open Glific and show where they can see the node ID.
Sure, yeah. Just give me a minute. So this, I'll just retest them. So at each node, you will be able to see something like the last four digits, AD09. this is the node ID. This is the last 4 digits of the actual node UID. So if I'll show the node UID, it's a long string. And we just show the last 4 digits in the particular UI. So you can search by the last 4 digits like 4931. So if a contact will be at this stage, it will show like at this particular time, it's at this node UID.
And in the URL, you can also see the flow ID. Just in
Yes,
case.
this is the flow ID.
I had a question, like if a org has set up the BigQuery or GCS, then only they'll get this ID on the flow node.
Sorry, Sangeeta?
Yeah. I had a question, like if a org has not set their BigQuery, still the node ID will be visible, or it's related to, like it's correlated.
It will be visible. I think the data is stored first in our server, our database, and then it gets synced to BigQuery.
Okay.
It will always be shown. So if somebody has not enabled their BigQuery, then it will not sync here. But yeah, the data is always there, and it will be shown in the UI, the node ID.
Oh.
Yeah, Vishwa, go ahead.
Shaman, so I had a question. So basically, when we look at the details, can you just go click on details tab for any table?
Okay.
No, okay, schema tab.
Sorry.
Yeah, so here there is a description, right, which helps us to understand what that column is for, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do we have some documentation where you have describe why we have created all of these tables? Like, for example, why do we have flow context separately and flow result separately? I mean, what is the difference between those two, or what is the connection between those two? How they are related? Do we have any documentation around
Right
that?
now, no. But yeah, I think we should have one, like just to understand all the basic schema.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now we don't have. We just have the like for now. If you can like understand from description, or we can just quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Sure. But yeah, like if you're asking, flow results is used to save all the result variables that we have in. Like if you go through a flow, like this particular flow, so this is saved as user intent. So this whatever the data that we get, that is saved in the flow results table. So check.
And what about flow counts then? What's the difference there?
Flow counts is how many times a particular person has moved through a particular node. So just give me a minute. I'll share something that is already there. So like as you can see, from this node, 568 people have gone through. So it tells the count of how many people have gone through a particular node.
And if I need to figure out unique user count, is there something within flow count where I get like contact?
No, I think that's the aggregate, like you just get the count.
Okay.
We keep the data for some time and then we aggregate and delete that.
Okay, understood. So this is then every node is present and against the node account for how many times it's been traversed, irrespective of uniqueness of contact.
Yes.
Got it.
So a connecting question here. So when we are referring to that count, will there also be like have any effect on what you shared some time ago, right? That after every 90 days, the data gets deleted from Glific. So
yeah, this table is not getting deleted. Like we only delete the message.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Glific platform page account, right? The one that you just.
Yeah, okay, that will not be changed. Yeah, it will be aggregated like from the previous only.
Acha, so that's basically being extracted from BigQuery, right?
No, that is from our own Postgres table.
So then, this 568 will have any impact of this fact that after every 90 days the data gets deleted from Glific? That's what my question is.
So the data that gets deleted, like as I shared in this slide, is only the
Hmm.
messages,
Okay,
flow
okay, okay.
context, yeah, and the contact history. We keep some of the data, like whatever
Okay.
we need to
Got it,
keep
got it,
forever.
got
So
it.
that we already have.
What is included in contact history? Would it also have like their last date of sign-in and things like that?
No, these are some of the logs that contact goes through. So if I'll
Okay, got
quickly
it.
show, yeah, at a particular time, user has started this flow, then he left that flow, he has gone to a particular collection. Just
Okay.
logs of the contacts.
Got it, got it. And at contact history, there's no node level.
No,
Nothing
that is like, yeah,
level that
just the event. Like if I'll quickly show, key flow started, flow ended, got to a collection, removed from collection. So from a user point of view, just to get the understanding of how user is moving through particular flow, like for this case, it just shows like they've started with this flow, flow is scaled, and then they completed certain flow.
Okay, so at a flow level and contact level, I can get my information there, but not at a nodes within flows. I won't know from this table.
Yes, no.
Got it.
This is yeah. Yeah, since I've gone through most of them, I'll quickly share the other ones also. So in messages media, we store the media of the media URLs of the messages. So if an audio or video message is shared, it gets the URL stored here. You can just use this URL to show in the dashboard or like see that image or video or audio. Next is the profiles table. If this is optional feature, people have enabled multiple profiles for a contact. The data of the profiles gets synced here. And yeah, these are the stats table, which just shows how many inbound, outbound messages have gone through a particular day, how many people have opted in, opted out. Yep, I think these are the most of the tables. So,
So these are contact counts now, or
yes,
is it unique, or again over here it's
it's not unique. Yeah, unique for a particular day.
unique contacts for a particular day, but
Yeah.
like this, I'm like in an opt-out action or certain message, if they did it 2 or 3 times, the same contact, would they show up as 1 or 3?
It will show as one. Yeah, for a
As one.
particular day, a unique contact.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, Shaila.
Can we safely say that all of the tables that you've shown right now will not be same for my organization? For example, there is a message bro at
Broadcast.
yeah
Sorry.
yeah broadcast. It maybe it will not be same, like this table will not exist for my particular program that I'm doing. Will it be safe to say that?
No, it will be the same for all organizations. So we kind of create all these tables and sync that data from that particular tables. It should be same across all organizations. The name and the
But I
schema of
think
the
it
table.
is not. I mean, like Shaman just coming in here, we have set up a BigQuery like in December, but currently we don't have all of this table.
Okay, we can take this
Or
offline, but like which tables specifically do
I
you think
think
we need?
tickets and all. Or is it something that we need to sync something, or we need to do something to like every, I don't know, every month. But I'm sure
No, I
we
think
don't have all of this.
okay. You won't have stats all and trackers all. That is, I think, unique to this particular instance.
So your voice is breaking. I don't know.
Sorry, just is it fine now? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly, Shaman. Vishwa, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can now.
Yeah. So
So
Vishwa, like I can quickly answer that question.
Hmm.
The specific BigQuery that you're seeing now, Shaman, you're showing from Glyfic Prod, right?
yes.
So some of the tables will be unique over here because this is like the Glyphic's master account. So master admin account, but then across all the orgs, we have the same table structure, which the clients basically, like what organization platform is created, then everyone has the same database structure and everything.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the purpose of asking this is that there's no process that's being expected from our end to have this, right? I mean, that's not something that we need to do. Like, okay, got it.
But yeah, Vishwa, like if you are seeing any tables that you don't have, you can just quickly share on Discord. We can check.
Yeah, sure.
All right. No other questions. We can move back to the slide. Yeah. The demo is done. Next, we'll look at the Looker Studio dashboard. So once we get the data in BigQuery, there's another platform by Google that is used to create custom dashboards. And the dashboard creation is free. But if you use BigQuery as an input source, there's a cost of querying the data. So if you open the dashboard, it takes some cost for querying the data in BigQuery and then show you the results. Also, it has the ability to create a template dashboard, and that also we have created. The Glific team has done by taking inputs from multiple NGOs. And if you think some things are missing, so we can do a version 6 based out of those inputs or feedbacks. So this is just something quick about the Looker Studio dashboard. How many people have used Looker Studio dashboards here? Just a quick show of thumbs up. Okay. Okay. Next, I think the most crucial part that we're going to come is the cost. Yeah.
Shaman, sorry to interrupt you. Just a quick announcement. So we have a support hour call starting at 3:30. So you need not worry. Like we will extend that call for a bit. So you can complete this call and just get onto that call in case you have any questions. So just wanted to announce. Thanks. Shaman, you can continue.
Sure. Thank you. All right. The main thing is the cost that is associated with storing any data in BigQuery and the querying cost. So I'll start with the storage cost. Right now in BigQuery, it's $0.02 per GB per month. And the first 10 GB is free per month. So taking an example, like I've shown you multiple tables. If you have two tables, messages and contacts, and its size is 5 GB and 2 GB, then it will be free for you for like forever if it's the same size. But if you're increasing the size, let's say the messages table have increased to 6 GB and contacts is now 7 GB, so you'll incur a cost of like 3 GB, that is 3 into 0.02. Per month, you'll have this cost, $0.06. This is the cost of just storing that data in BigQuery. Next comes the main cost, that is the query cost. It's $7.5 per TB. It's for the Asia region. And first 1 TB is free for each month. So taking an example, if you have a table called messages with a size of 2 GB, for every query that you make on that particular table, 2 GB of data will process. So if you like make a query 1,000 times, it will be 2 TB of data processing. So per TB is $7.5. 2 TB will be $15, but 1 TB is free. So per month, like if you are querying 1,000 times, it will be $7.5. So that is just a quick background. Like if you have any questions regarding this. Yes, yeah, good. Thumbs up.
Shaman, just clarifying question here. So when we are saying querying, is it just when we are querying on BigQuery platform, or is it also when we are using it over Google Data Studio?
If you're using over Looker Studio also.
Both.
So if you're opening Looker Studio, that makes a query to BigQuery, and that is also incurring this cost only.
So it's like opening Google Data Studio. Is it like every time we open it, it's like we are firing a query?
You're firing a query.
Okay, got it.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I know that this is not like the Dalgo team, but what about query, like stuff that we run on DBT? and then it's just putting the like sort of dumping the data into BigQuery, right? Is my understanding. Over there also, does this query cost come into play, or can we say this gets offset and is actually being taken care of on DBT? I don't know if you guys are the right people to answer this, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I can answer this. So insertion is free in BigQuery. You can insert all the data that you want. In your case, that's just insertion. If you are getting the data, that is where the actual cost comes in.
Okay, so whatever we push out to Looker Studio is the only charge. Otherwise, since our queries are on
Push to BigQuery, yeah. Sorry, not Looker Studio.
okay, so push to BigQuery, but though then that is it on how many times you insert it or just how much you're storing?
Anything is like if you're inserting anything in BigQuery, like let's say 10 GB or anything, that is free. Insertion is free in BigQuery. It's just the retrieval of data that is actually costing you. So from DBT, like you're inserting into BigQuery, so that is like free for you. But if you are getting insights from that data through BigQuery, then it will cost you.
Got it.
All right, if nothing else, I'll just share the best practices for cost reduction. So I think the first is the main, you should just monitor your costs on a monthly basis. Second, I think quite important is to check size of data sources. I'll just show a quick demo. I think I've just asked Vijaya Swarupa from KEF, if I can use their BigQuery instance. I'll show from on their instance how much data is stored for each table, so we can get some good figures. And just give me a minute. I'll use the KEF BigQuery. And here it's a similar format like the board number and all the tables. Let's give me a minute. This is a query that helps you to check the size of each table. So in this particular case for KEF, as you can see, these are all the tables, and this is the size in like GB for each table. So contact histories is 3, flow context is 11, flow results is 7 GB, messages is 1.9. So overall, their cost is like without the table ID. Just so from this. The total size is 26 GB. So for them, 10 GB is free per month. For the next 16 GB, they are paying 16 into $0.02. This is just the storage cost of BigQuery. So for cost reduction, they can take certain steps like for each table, for each large tables that they can check and delete some previous data that they don't need. Like if for this instance, if I don't need flow context of data before June 2022, I'll just delete that data to not incur this particular storage cost. All right, moving back to, yeah. Second is the size of data sources. Third is like as I shared earlier as well, there's a cost associated every time you open a dashboard. So make sure only relevant people are using the dashboard and they're not opening it with different filters every time they. You should archive or delete all old data. Like if you think it's not relevant, you can just download the data and put a dump in your drive on your GCS. You should not keep it in BigQuery. That is another. We are still working on ways to reduce cost, and yeah, we did a fix last November. But yeah, we were still seeing on better ways how we can reduce cost for the organizations.
Shaman, one relevant question on third point. Make sure the relevant people are using the dashboard. So here, by using, do you mean editing the dashboard, or do you also mean where we have just given them view access, like maybe don't or yeah.
Yeah, even if the view access, like if they are opening a dashboard, every time they're filtering something, that runs a query in BigQuery, and that adds to your cost. So if you're sharing the dashboard across, like, let's say 100 people, or publicly opening it, that will like increase your cost to a lot.
Is there any alternative to this? I mean,
Alternative to this,
as in,
there are, yeah.
like for example, if you want to give this dashboard to some people in the system, basically now we work with Anganwadi worker, ICDs, all of them. So if you want to give this visibility to them, we might not be very much sure that how many people will open it, right? So but we want to give them the visibility. So and Google Data Studio has kind of very good type of charts data. I mean, the visualization is the way that we might prefer sharing the same dashboard. And I mean, you can completely skip the question, but just wanted to know if some other NGOs have done it. Yeah, I mean, some alternatives around it to basically to so that we can reduce the cost. Yeah,
Sorry, didn't understand your question. Do you think you can repeat it? Like,
yeah, so basically the idea is we want to share this dashboard with a lot of people so that they know, and maybe they might be only interested in knowing for only the relevant data that's relevant to them only. But when we are anticipating that many people would want to see this, how do you navigate the situation? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think Reap Benefit has done it really well, and both of the
Okay.
Reap Benefit people have responded in the chat. So, like you said, like you correctly identified, overall, like all the data that Locus Studio gets from the chatbot is a bit too overwhelming, and not in a way that your ground team can uh, consume it. So, what I mean, what you can do is like link the relevant data you get from your flows into Google Sheets, then create Looker Studios or like dashboards which are linked to that Google Sheets, or create separate simpler dashboards which capture and show only like the high level things that you want to show it to certain number of and the target audience that you want to show it.
So you're saying multiple versions of dashboards according to the stakeholders.
Yeah. And like, I mean, and all those dashboards don't need to be like, especially the ones that you want to show to, let's say, the state
Same. Yeah,
authorities or
makes
the
sense.
ground authorities. They don't have to be so complicated. Like you can just like a high level of metrics, and you can definitely connect with Reap Benefit because they have done this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Shaman.
So another thing to add here, they just like we can also like for dashboards, I think the query cost comes into picture when the data source is too large. Like if the message table is 5 GB, then it's too overwhelming. Like the query cost is increased. So if we can see practices like removing, archiving old data or deleting that, that would also help in reducing cost.
Shamun, in these messages, will the media exchange will also counted, or it will be separately charged?
Sorry, which one?
So
The medias.
yeah, the media thing, when exchanging of media and receiving the media will also be counted in this, or will it be charged? Or
That will be separate. That is stored on a separate platform called Google Cloud Storage.
okay,
And they have a separate pricing for that. But I think for most NGOs, it's right now free. They would also have, I think, 10 GB per month is free. So I don't think so anyone have crossed that as per my knowledge. But yeah, so that is a separate platform that is used for storing audio and video.
and if like locations also will be captured by GCS, or it will come fall under big.
Location data will come here. It's just a text data
Okay.
in messages table only. All right, I think with that, I think this completes the whole BigQuery. Yep. Open for questions.
Shaman, one question around cost only. The costing is common for BigQuery and Google Data Studio. Is it separate? I mean, when the billing is done, is it in like one bill or is it separate for both things?
Overall, I think you'll get like in the billing section, you'll get the billing of a whole project. So it shows like,
Project only, right?
yeah.
And it's because I also remember when we set it up, 3 months it is free for everybody, and after that it's a prepaid, or is it after, like, post thing?
It's suppose you have to pay with credit card because the bill
Post
is.
only, like after, so basically based on usage, and that the can we get that on the same email ID that we have used for the login to BigQuery and Google Data Studio? How is it? Or is it something that we can see on the platform, like how Gupshup has a wallet? I mean, how to basically, track it?
There's a billing management section in Google Cloud, Vishwa. So if you can just like
Okay.
navigate there, and it will show all the costs related to every platform that you're using. And it also shows a projection of how you're going to end this month. That is one way just to track like the data. But yeah, overall, I think we don't like explicitly in Glyphic,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, completely. Yeah.
Shaman, there's a question from Swarupa.
yeah,
She's not
I'm
able to
just reading. Murder, just moving the flow. Check the cost. Check the cost. Check the like yes, Sarupa, flow context is used for tracking the users in a flow and what level the flow has got killed or completed. For everyone checking the cost, you have to go to the billing section in Google Cloud, and that shows a particular platform that you're using and the cost associated with that. So there's a billing section in Google Cloud that you can check. The query that I showed is just for checking the amount of data for each table. So if it's 26 GB, so you can calculate based on that, like how much amount is for each month. Just you took this, right? And could you?
Yeah, yeah. And say I've shared you a like a latest case study that has been shared by Dost Education. So they kind of used A/B testing and ABC testing. They created 3 separate types of products. I mean, like flows, which are one was guided, one was semi-guided, another one was completely non-guided, like open-ended. So they created this pilot which had all these 3 variations, and then and then they have some interesting findings from there. So I mean that kind of then informed them that guided was the best received by their audience.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, I did have a chance to kind of read that article, but yeah, I would love to hear if anybody who is participating as well has any meaningful examples. Of course, if we have time, etc. Up to you guys.
No, we have time. We have time for another 12 minutes. So yeah, open to if there's any folks who want to share. Maybe Sneha organization, if you had any thoughts to share on. If you have like how have you learned from your earlier 2 pilots and things like that. since Sneha and FMCH are kind of in same sector, so I'm nudging you to share. Whatever you can will be helpful to them. Yeah, I mean, we are also open for any other questions if you have. If you want someone to spend more time on BigQuery writing different queries, or if you don't have, if you want to query something and you don't know how to write the query, and if you just want to ask him right now, he can spend some time, and like in the response, like after this call, when we share all the resources, we can, like try to write those queries and share it with you also. So if you just, because we have time, you can use someone's time. We can use someone's time if you want him to write some queries, custom queries and things like that for you as well. So he has obliged to take 1 hour and to be in full service of you guys.
No one wants your service, they just.
No one wants your service, Shamun.
They're
Someone
not selling it well then.
Someone can write extremely well-crafted, beautiful SQL queries for your tables. Please ask your questions so we can write your queries. Okay. Cool. We'll make a note of this and we'll try to share over in the email to resources. Shamun, you
Yeah, I
have.
think we already have. Is my screen shared, right?
Yeah, your screen is shared. If you want, you can kind of do it right now also.
Siddharth, there's a sorry, contact flat field stable, that flat field view that does exactly this. Like, get a particular field variable for all the users. So it's just a query where you extract all the variables. Like, I'm taking the case of KE. They're just unnesting the fields. This is for child layer, child layer. Can you tell us the right thing to do? So if there, I can share this after the call, but there should already be a flat field stable of view in your BigQuery instance.
Are you answering to Insia right now, Shamun?
No, Siddharth.
Oh, okay.
Can you tell us the right table to look as to understand unique contacts, flow start? It will be flow context, Insia.
So in flow context.
In flow context, just give it. Unique contacts that start the flow, and okay, you can query by contact, like unique contact ID. This one's. Yeah, so you can just like query by contact ID, unique contact ID for a particular day or a particular time, and how many flows are start, like how many rows are there for that particular contact. That will be the amount of flows that they started.
So if there's one flow UUID, that means they have started one flow. If this has more than
Yes.
one flow UUID has like multiple comma separated values, then that means that that many flows have been transferred by that contact.
No. For a particular row, it will be single flow UID. Number of rows of a particular contact will
Okay.
give you the amount of
So
flows
if
they've
I
started.
got it. So the flow UUID will repeat, right? Because what I want to actually look at is say like flow X, how many unique contacts started, how many unique contacts completed it. Then my flow UUID is unique, and I just have to figure it out from contact ID uniqueness, the count.
Got it. Then I think you can create a
Right,
subquery like but yeah, that can be extractable. Like getting all the flow unique, a particular flow ID, getting all the contacts, right? Getting all
Yeah,
the unique contacts.
unique contacts. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the exact like how do I write the query, but yeah, you can check from ChatGPT and that
Yeah,
can really help.
I just wanted to check if the logic is correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
logic is fine, I think.
Logic. So yeah, we can come to Siddhant's question. Like if we can arrive at a logic, whether it's possible. To track the amount of time users spends on a flow.
A user spends on a flow, that will be, I think, there's a inserted at and updated at column in the flow context table. So if it started, that is inserted at, and if it's updated at 6, so that will be the amount of like either it's killed or it's completed. So based on that, you can like get the amount of time a user spends on a particular flow.
So you get like a unique count of yeah, I mean, so you if you're able to get unique count of flow UIDs, and within that unique count of contact
The
ID,
yeah.
and then you find the difference between inserted at and updated at.
Yes, not even the unique contact IDs, because like a particular contact can go through that flow multiple times. It's just the user spending the time for a particular flow ID. Get the difference between inserted and updated at. That is the amount of time a person spends on a flow.
Siddhant, do you want to maybe unmute yourself and ask like what exactly did this help? Like, are you more confused?
Yeah, sorry. Audio was messed up. Yeah, so I think I know how to like do the extraction. I've done it manually once. Like I just looked at the timestamps and just kind of eyeballed it.
Yeah.
Is there like a SQL logic for this? Like in terms of inserted at is in a certain date time format, and so is updated at. Like, can we use SQL to just kind of find that difference, or do we have to kind of eyeball it, or to have some sort of like rejects or match like
No, I think
functional
there are standard datetime functions, Siddhant, for this in BigQuery.
Okay.
This is a particular date format only, and then you can use date diff or something that I can share the documentation. But yeah, in the documentation, if you check date functions in BigQuery, you will get that.
Okay. Thank you.
No, welcome. Yeah, we have another 5 minutes. So if you have any other questions on how to extract certain fields or values, you can. Shawan, we can see your screen. Cool. If there are no questions, I will. I have like this last bit of thing. We have released the poll. Let me know if you can see it. If you can share your thoughts on this poll, it'll be super helpful for us to, yeah, get feedback and see if we can improve our webinar for the next bit. You're able to see the poll, right, folks? Shahida, Documentation of how I can share your documentation that we have right now regarding the dashboards, and maybe you can have a look at that and see if that helps. Whatever is missing from there, you can reach out to us over Discord or over email so that we can understand what is something more that we can add. During that sounds okay. I will share you a documentation right now, and I think if please help me correct me if I'm wrong, but you're referring to the present Data Studio dashboards that we have, right? If you want to understand that and how they are built. Okay, cool. I've shared it in response to your query. Yeah, like please feel free to share from your, like if, after going through like what else would you like to know? We'll be like happy to put that together. Okay, thank you everyone. About 83% of people have answered and a majority found this webinar useful. I think it's successful. Please feel free to also like reach out with your queries on anything that you would like to know on over Discord and also in response to this email. So we'll be sharing all the resources from this thing and we'll share it over email. In case we miss something, please feel free to just call it out and we'll respond to you. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Swarupa, what are you asking? I didn't understand. Link for documentation for BigQuery. Oh, the documentation on how the BigQuery tables are formed. Oh, Swarupa's dropped. No, she's here. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you. Swarupa, do you, is there a documentation link for BigQuery? Yes, sorry. Oh, no problem, Swarupa. Is there a documentation link for BigQuery? You want to understand like if BigQuery tables, like how are the tables and what information it contains and things like that? Oh yeah, we don't have it right now, but we are taking the feedback from this thing. We'll try to put this together in the next couple of weeks and we'll share it with you as soon as we have it. Okay. Thank you, Swarupa. Thank you. Good day. Good job, Shamoon.
Thank you, Tejas. Thank you for helping me.